Cool.
So is this? So I wanted to make sure I asked: is this a lot about faith, or is it more just? Are we just having a straight
The
conversation?
we just had
Yeah.
is podcast worthy.
Right.
Like that
Like,
was, we're already recording. That was in.
Yeah, I was in there.
We're in it.
Now, see, now it gets all serious. We're going to talk about all
It got all
serious
I know.
I know it's not
Yeah,
quiet.
I know.
It's okay. Joe's awkward. He's awkward, man.
Cool. So,
All right, great.
Let's go.
Oh, you're rolling it?
yeah.
All right, Aiden, welcome. Welcome to our podcast here, Fresh and Faithful.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming along. And so, tell me more about you. Like, who are you, and what do you do for your hobbies? Like, I hear that you're a musician, right?
Yes, yeah. So I'm a musician. So growing up, listened to a lot of different music. I tell this story a lot with my family. Like my mom was really into like Motown, soul music. So I was listening to a ton of Stevie Wonder, a ton of Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell, stuff like that. And then my dad was a big rock guy, Ramones, Beatles, In Excess. And then my grandma was really into jazz. And so each part of like different music just really stuck with me, and I became so passionate about it later on once I got into college and everything.
That's the beauty of music sometimes, like taking all those different genres and kind of creating your own flavor with it all.
Yeah.
My dad was a big Ramones fan growing up.
Love the Ramones, man.
I love the Ramones. They're very good.
Dude, I remember going...
Simplicity.
Right.
It's just so simple, but like...
Same riff over and over again, just played.
That's all right. It works.
Yeah, man.
If it ain't broke, don't fix
Ramon?
Yeah.
What's Ramon?
Yeah.
Anyways.
No, I remember when I was a kid, man, like growing up, listening to them, like it was always funny because my dad used to take me to school. That was when I was going to Catholic school as a kid. And so I remember at 7:30 in the morning, I'd be like, Blitzkrieg Pop, like they're jamming out at 7:30 in the morning. Like, you got too much energy, kid. Like, put it into your grades. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But, oh man, it was, I love music, man. Just latched onto it from day one, man. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think about the music nowadays? I mean, compared to the music back then. Do you think that there's a lot of influence of just like secularism, maybe even like diabolic influence, right? The demons and devils.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, no, I think that's super prevalent. I think one of the things is there's not a vision anymore, right? There's not a vision between an artist and the music they create. They just create something to put it on the charts, not create something that's really true, right? Like,
Or timeless.
Timeless, yeah. I mean, like, and just I think it has to do with a ton of different things. How people put themselves out there in the world, how people reflect relationships between their friends and their families and their girlfriends and their wives. I mean, like, you hear how Frank Sinatra and like all these old school like crooners used to sing about girls. Like, they used to sing so highly of them, and like, Aretha Franklin, I'll say a little prayer for you, right? Like, it's you lose that connection.
I'll say a little
prayer for you. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, it just you lose a vision, right? Like, you lose who you are, and you just create something for money.
Well, I think that's the case. Millions of people listen to these tracks and all these repetitive music and these words that are even like holy. They're just all like secular, sex, drugs, whatever it is. Right? Why do you think that's the case? Like, what draws people to listen to these negative music? They're negative,
Right. Yeah.
When I look at it, it's like, music used to be just like the talent, the writing, the sound. And now, today's become way more about the appearance more than what's actually being played on stage. I mean, even look at like techno or EDM. It's like, man, there's not even a band up there. There's a guy hitting play.
Right.
I mean, I know that takes a lot of skill. Don't get me wrong, but it's like,
Sure.
they're mainly there more for the light show and for those kind of things. And it's good. I mean, I get it. I listened to a lot of like, well, I kind of did, but my buddy was more of a metalhead than I was. But it's like, you see the shows that he would go to, and like, you go to a couple and you can see like, wow, I mean, when you put like a big show on, like, I mean, it's cool. It's very theatric. It's awesome. But I think that's like gotten a little tainted as time has gone on, and we've become way more about the appearance. And now it's, I mean, you look at singers. I don't even want to call them singers, but but I can't even think of her name. What is her freaking name?
Billie Eilish?
No, She's actually okay. I don't.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, Billie Eilish
I
is
think-
Dude,
actually-
I think like her
I
and her
think she's
brother.
a professional whisperer.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it is like that, but like when you listen to her like process of what she does with her brother, it's actually pretty good. Like
you put it on max volume, she's still whispering.
What the heck, dude? She's a professional whisperer, dude.
yeah. What the heck was the freaking? I guess I'll use the one that pops in my head is like Cardi B, like
Yeah,
that kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
person. It's
Okay.
like that is what you just said. Like it's very focused on like you think of the sex, drugs, those kind of things. And if I look back in like 70s rock and roll, sure that was still a preeminent like thing, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but I started to create that lifestyle thing. So now I think when people are listening to this modern music, they're chasing that lifestyle no matter what the consequence. Like they're not even thinking about the consequence because they just see that path as like the fun and cool path. And then it looks, that's where I go with Catholicism. Like my kind of journey through it was that, living through that rock and roll lifestyle, but then kind of once you get closer to Christ and start doing more stuff within the church and within your religion, and you start to hone in on those traditional things, it's like, man, that's rock and roll. Like you think of the apostles and these, like St. Paul, like, dude, this guy changed his whole life and just started, went from killing Christians to writing the Bible. It's like, what the heck, dude? That's going against the grain. And it's like, that's rock and roll. So it's like, I think that taint of what cool is and what's going against the grain is kind of all just like meshed and bundled now, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I just find it very ironic.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I think another thing too is people also need to understand too that music sometimes, I would actually say all the time, has to be more selfless than selfish, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, for me as a musician, I've never enjoyed playing on my own. Like I don't really enjoy just getting a guitar, getting a piano, and going up there and singing a song just by myself. Like it would be so cool to be able just to have one other instrument, a violin, another vocalist, because then you create something together, and that requires something that's just below what we see, right? And it's just, you know what, I think it's all just, like you said, it's just a hit play. I'm going to just do this and make it catchy, and it doesn't really have any meaning behind it. And then it, it's successful. Yeah. And that's, unfortunate.
And you see it in the music. I mean, it's successful for like people like very basic, but like people like the Beatles, Rolling Stones, like these bands were like, they still have songs today that could still be in a top 10 list, on something. And it's like, today it's like, a Billie Eilish song, a Billie Eilish song, a Billie Eilish song, laddie.
Can you imagine? Hey, the Scottish whisperer.
Well, like those things last like 20 minutes on a top chart and they just go away. They just fade away. My dad that's my dad's like favorite saying when like my sister started getting more modern music. He was just like, it sounds okay, but like, it's not going to be sung around a campfire anytime soon, and it's like these songs don't latch on to people. And I think it's because they've lost that selfless attitude towards their music, and it's way more honed in on just like being immoral and like promoting these values that are not values but vices,
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree wholeheartedly.
But what is immoral attracted so much? Why doesn't the goodness, the beauty, and truth of the Catholic Church attract people, but what is sinful and immoral attracts them more? Why is that the case, do you think?
Well, it's like, you don't want, I'm just not going to lie. It feels good.
Yeah.
Like people are like that. It's, I'm listening to like a Jordan Peterson thing right now. And he's just like, they're talking about, like pornography and like cocaine and those kind of things. And he's just like, well, because it feels good, you know? Like, of course it does, but it's like
True.
Saying no to those things. And, that's how I think he put it that way. Of like saying no to those things is, putting Satan behind you so he can push you towards God instead of him pulling you into something that's leading you down into hell.
Well, and I think one of the big things is that people don't understand about music that is catchy, that is secular, is it's going to keep the song's always going to come to an end, right?
Yeah.
You have the same exact like output as you would have a normal song, but it's just, does the song make you want to be better, make you think different things, make you actually change?
Yeah.
Right? Like, even like the big Michael Jackson project, About the World or something like that. It was a genuine interest in like,
We are the world.
Right? They had all these big singers, but they created something for a cause, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that people don't really want a cause, they just want something temporary.
I just want it now. Yeah. I want it now and I want to feel good. And these days it's just like, because music has become such a club experience, you know, and a party experience. It's like you need that kind of music to feed that dark side of your soul.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I noticed that like just stopping always listening to secular music, but like got more into, you know, Christian influenced kind of bands. It, for a record, it's like kind of crazy how many different Christian influenced like artists are out there. Like the types of music. It's like, man, you can find some really good folky kind of acoustic stuff, and then you can also go super almost techno, like a lot of digital drumming and those kind of things. So it's like that range is so wide, but we just don't take the time to find that, I think. But then you go into these, you know, back to just like always listening to secular music, it is crazy. It's very brainwashing. And I know that's been like a hot topic in the world today, of just how music's become kind of a brainwashing tactic instead of just something to enjoy without, I don't know, falling for it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think secular music is more of a distraction nowadays, because sometimes I just listen to music to distract myself, right? But rather than it being an attraction towards what is good, just like what you said earlier, Aiden. A lot of times the good music back in the past, it attracts you to something that improves your life, right? It makes you feel better in the sense that, okay, I see myself in a better light with a better identity, right? And you're able to overcome these challenges with this nuance of music that leads you, like spiritual music, right? It leads you to God first and foremost, but also understanding, okay, maybe I need to overcome this fear. Maybe maybe I need to overcome this broken heart by coming to God, rather than just inverting ourselves and just focusing, oh, woe me. It's all about me, right? And all of a sudden what happens? You turn negative, right? A lot of times these music make you even more negative, more impatient, and people on the road, they have road rage many times because of the music they're listening to. Right.
And it's like, what do you expect, you know? You're just allowing evil in your brain because you're just thinking evil. Why would it not be there, you know? It's very funny. It's very funny. Because that's what people, I think, struggle with the most. Like when they look at someone who's maybe not religious, like they always look at obviously, like they look at the can't say or don't do this and those kind of things. And it's like look at the 10 Commandments, you know, they're very, thou shalt not, you know, but I mean, I think people lack the realization that they're doing that because it's a internal, like, what am I doing wrong kind of stuff to get you into that first step into like, okay, these are the things that are making me, you know, quote unquote, an idiot and just kind of, you know, lazy, mad, angry, you know, these kind of just bad things. So what am I doing wrong that I can just give up? It may not be easy to give up, but like I have to give it up, not because, I mean, and this is me speaking as someone who's not religious, but not because some God is telling me to, but because, I mean, this is going to make me a better human being. And like, that's the simplicity in religion. And it's so funny because people get to that realization, but then you'll talk to them and be like, well, it's kind of Catholicism, buddy, you know? But they're just like, oh, no. And they get shut down immediately. And it's just so funny. It's like, dude, you just basically explained the whole thing. Right.
No, you're right. And many times it's always that perspective and what they lose through the Catholic faith, right? It's all about all these rules and regulations. They can't do this, they can't do this, thou shalt not do this. But what they lose sight of is the reality that it's not what they lost, but what they gain. Just think about vocation to the priesthood, right? We take the promise of simplicity, chastity, celibacy, and obedience, right? And sometimes go, oh my gosh, right? You can't have our family, you can't have this, you can't have, you know, this and that. I say, no, right? We're celibate because why? Not because we lost something, but we gain We gain freedom. We gain Jesus. We gain a sense of fearlessness and courage, because when I go out there, I'm not afraid of somebody stealing my car, like, whatever, you know? It's a car, right? They can't steal the treasure in me, which is God.
Maybe that's what like ties back to like your question, I guess. Why do people like choose that kind of music? I mean, that's just simply it. I think they're looking to gain something without, like, you know, maybe sacrificing the cool metal band or the cool rap group, or not even groups anymore. What am I, 1990s? The cool rap person, but like just to give that up and go find, again, like such a wide range of like religious, spiritual music that you can choose from that will basically give you that same feeling, but in a better way, in a better sense.
Well, I think so too.
That's another thing. Like I get that a lot with the music I choose. Like I guess everyone thinks I listen to like sad Jesus music. And I guess that's my question. Why is music?
What is sad? What is sad Jesus music in the beginning?
I don't get it either. Like I don't get it because I'm just like it's really not sad.
A worship song in a minor key, like
I guess. But that's like the best music, like a melancholy chord progression with happy words, like because it's that, you know, you're playing against two emotions, and that's like what people love.
Yeah.
But like I don't get it. Like I listen to this stuff, I'm like it's just not really sad to me. But
Yeah.
maybe it's because they're just not like. Again, maybe it's just that person's just not really understanding the whole aspect of faith. But I don't know. It's funny.
Maybe it's sad for them because it's like an invitation to die to yourself.
Yeah.
Sacrificial.
Right, it's that sacrificial, and sometimes people don't like to sacrifice, and when they enter into that sacrificial state, they feel like, oh, they lost something, or like they're being asked to let go of something that they don't want to let go.
Yeah,
right, like relationships that are painful.
Right, but what's interesting to me is sacrifice has always historically made sense in front of us, right? Like, of course, through Jesus Christ, but also like when you look at good movies, good music. It's not a coincidence that all of this good stuff is lives sacrificial Christian values, right? Like all these great movies that show something are literally about sacrifice. And that's always so funny to me how people don't latch on to that, right? Like understand that is what it is, right?
I think it's just because when it comes down to it, that situation or that feeling ever comes on to people, like they immediately just like, well, not for me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like, you can go sacrifice. I'm good over here.
But I'm good.
It's like on Titanic. Like I'm good on the door. Like, you can.
And that was a big door too.
Yeah,
that was
big
a big
door.
man.
Yeah.
The big door.
I was like, Leonardo DiCaprio could have got the other piece, but
Hollywood man. Low Leonardo. You might want to scooch over.
Oh man, that's funny. That's funny.
But it's a selfish culture, right? It's all about the me, myself, and I. And
Yeah.
it's like it's okay that you sacrifice and then you're in pain, but for me, nah, I'm not gonna be wanting pain.
Yet you're still in pain, you know.
Right.
It's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Like embrace your struggle. That's why I love that. Like some thing I was reading, but they're talking about like Buddhism and like Christianity. And they're like, kind of fairly the same. Yeah, like they're naming a lot of things that are similar, but then he was like, but Buddhism is really focused on like easing your struggle, so you just don't have to worry about like struggle just won't exist in your life anymore. But yet with Christianity, like we're not ashamed to say that there is struggle and to take that struggle and to embrace it with Jesus Christ. That so like struggle still exists.
Yeah.
And that's like I feel like everyone's always so like concerned about struggling or when they're gonna feel bad, and they just like never want to deal with that down here. But it's like, dude, you got to be down here to feel
understand up.
You got to go
Yeah,
through the desert
exactly.
to reach a mountaintop,
Yes.
And it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got to that, but
Yeah.
you tie it in somehow, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
Billie Eilish. I can't even say her last name very well. Eilish.
Well, yeah, just talking about Michael Jackson, this whole P. Diddy case, it's pretty interesting. I know I'm off tangent right now, but dude,
I don't know anything really about it.
You don't know anything about the P. Diddy case?
Dude, I don't.
Bro, like the FBI just came in their house with his two sons in his house. So he has like 5 different houses, right? And so the FBI, supposedly the whole, how should I say, the whole scoop is that he's doing some illegal business with underage kids, sex trafficking, things like that. Drugs, of course, is included, And so he's been doing this over a few years, but also one of his victims, which was his old girlfriend, I forgot her name, so with a C.
Start with a she.
She is a good
You gotta
start.
say that these days. You gotta say that these days.
Accused him of rape, right? And abuse, and he has been denying this like for so long. But then eventually a video just came out. I just watched it the other day. I think it was yesterday or the day before. That P. Diddy just came out with like a towel around his waist, and then he went out and he kicks her and abused her and drags her to the hallway.
Oh my gosh.
And throws a vase at her. And so everything that he said was a lie. And then he came out with an apology. He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. That was a dark time, dark moment." Well, you denied this like.
Well, you
5,000
denied it
times.
right.
And all of a sudden, he comes out and you're apologizing, but he never apologized to her. And that's just one instance. But the main case is the fact that he's being accused of sex trafficking, and the federal FBI is on his case right now.
Yeah, I just saw literally at the gym this morning. I just like looked up at the screen and it said something like that. Like a model is just coming out. Maybe is that the girlfriend? No, because this is too recent. Like the news thing that I just saw. Like,
Okay.
This sounds like it was.
Yeah, it could be the case. I mean,
so I guess it's still going. But yeah, all I knew was that one, and that's the same dude that did the like Justin Bieber stuff is all tied into him.
Yeah, so Justin Bieber what's called the Diddy.
I'm not with the times, man.
The Diddy, what's it called? The Diddy party.
Oh.
So
Diddy
Usher
party.
and Justin Bieber, they said that they were in his Diddy party where he,
Well, that
he did
happens.
things.
Right.
Where he,
he
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that was a way bigger tangent than mine.
Yeah, and there's conspiracy, and I'm all into this because I just hate it when somebody hurts people.
Yeah.
Right? And I get all into it because I want justice. Justice is to give them what is due to them, right?
Yeah.
And what is due to him is pretty much prison for life, right? And that's what I think, because that's justice for me. And mercy, of course, mercy is saying I pray for you, but you got to spend time in jail,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I think the mercy is that. I mean, spending time in jail and living, because there's a lot of people that would just attack you and kill you. So
Yeah.
I think the mercy is that of just giving the person kind of life in prison.
Yeah.
And then we'll let the rest be the rest.
And there's conspiracy that Jay-Z is the one leading this.
That was in it. That was in it too.
Or I can't deal with that guy's hair.
Oh, dude.
Oh, I know, man.
Bro.
He looks like someone from Futurama.
It's like a rooster.
You ever watch Futurama? Bro, you try and be look like a lion, but you don't, dude. Yeah, because I think
You don't, dude.
Yes.
You can be lying, but you're not a lion.
But you're not a lion, right?
That's true. That's true. It's man, there's something up with you. Him and Beyonce with their what's it called, the Illuminati plan.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's crazy,
I'm gonna
man.
fix this real quick.
I don't even know, how. I don't even know, man.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Oprah's in charge of it. I'm
Yeah.
sure of it. Oprah, you're hearing this?
Sorry.
If you're listening,
Yeah. You can come onto our show anytime.
Okay, that works way better. Sorry, we're trying new mic stands, so.
Yeah, so why I am off tangent because why do people lie? Why do people go into these extreme darkness and sin, right? Knowing eventually it's gonna come out. You're not gonna hide forever.
Yeah.
I think.
But go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's just not being grounded in reality, man. It's just really you're not understanding. It's almost like you're living in this weird world of you think everything is gonna work out, but if you're doing something that you're not supposed to, man, it's gonna be brought to light.
No.
You know what I mean? That's just you can't really get away with everything forever, man. No, especially as a celebrity.
Yeah.
Especially, man. It's
And people see it through your actions,
Yeah.
right? Through your witness.
yeah.
And many times when you're feeling guilty or down of what happens, right? You live a life where people exterior see you and say, what's happening to you, right? She was just talking about another conversation with one of the guys here, maintenance guy in the seminary. He's like, yeah, when somebody's taking meth. They're like 180. You can never go back from where you were at once you take meth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's just a 180 transformation.
Yeah, math is hard.
Oh,
Just all the
yeah, all the arithmetics.
bro. Math was so cool, man, until they added letters.
Yeah.
Math was long division, man. I was that guy. Back in 4th grade or whatever, whenever you learn long division, bro, I thought everybody had a crush on me, man. I thought I was the
You
coolest.
should probably crunch those numbers again, man.
Yeah, and then he became a musician to write about his woes.
Numbers! Why you gotta add letters?
A, B, C.
There's a reason that there's a book, in the Bible, the book of Numbers, but not a book of letters, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the words.
That's true. You're right.
And there are letters.
We speak words, not letters.
There's the letters from. But yeah, meth.
Man, this is crazy. Man,
I couldn't resist.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm not ready for this. 11 in the morning, man.
Yeah.
But I
This
guess
is
that
not
is.
right.
I mean, yeah. I'm gonna try to get back on that topic because I had something to say, but I don't know if this is gonna make sense anymore. What were you talking about? That someone. So you can't hide basically forever.
Yeah. You learn as a kid, man.
Well, I think that's just what it is. Also, you're gonna people just take that easy way out, whatever that be. Alcohol, drugs, just lying. Those kind of things. But it's that easy way isn't. I mean, it's not the right way. Right? Most of the time, if you look at your life or even in my own life, it's man, every time you go to the easy way, there seems to be something at the end of that road that's even harder than the thing that you could have just done in the back.
Yes.
It never like, so I guess it's just, I mean, that's just the way it works. I don't know. Like, it's just life. But yeah, you can't hide forever. And especially with the things you do in your past, like those things still come back to haunt you, whether they be, actual physical things, situations, or just like what you said, like, I mean, you're going to wear those things on you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is very important for vocation, married life, priesthood.
Yeah.
Right? Because imagine you're hiding or you're keeping secrets from your spouse, or I'm keeping secrets from the people, that God in the church.
Yeah.
Right? What happens? That relationship breaks off.
It's broken.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not fruitful anymore.
Yeah, like one little white lie leads to
Keeps
another,
getting
leads to
pushed.
another, leads to another, and that's just it grows separation, whether you like it or not, whether you see it or not.
And I think one of the issues is that you need more accountability needs to happen within people's lives, right? Like, you need to be called out when you're not doing good, right? Like, I remember a buddy of mine a little while ago, like, told me that he was struggling with something, and like there was something going on in his life, and he was like keeping it from people. Unfortunately, like, tarnished a friendship, a relationship. And I told him the whole time, I was like, bro, I knew that you were not like okay, and I was gonna come talk to you, and then I appreciate that you wanted to come out and tell me the truth, but like. You also, as a friend, got to be more accountable, right? Like, if people, especially as a spouse, as I hope that parishioners or the family of God would be there to walk with you, right? As a priest, as a invocation of marriage, right?
Yeah. Man, something just left my brain.
Math.
What the heck, man?
Math.
It's the letters.
It's the letters.
The letters.
And the numbers.
Yeah, the letters. Without letters, there's no words.
But yeah, you gotta I mean, that's the problem is people take that sometimes the wrong way. And they're just like, dude, go look at your own life. Don't worry about mine.
Yeah. It's a whole splinter in the eye thing, right?
Yeah, but it's like you have to just remember that everyone's coming from an act of love. But that's why I mean, that's just why it's so important to have the right people in your lives and to kind of not push away, but just kind of move away from the ones that are causing you to feel that kind of stuff, whether it be, shame or fear to tell the truth to someone. Then maybe that person just really isn't your true friend.
And that's hard. It's hard to say.
It's so hard.
Right? Because imagine that friend is that friend for 10 years.
Yeah. Well, and everybody wants to be accepted,
Yeah.
like in all aspects of our world today. That's the biggest thing is just accept me, accept me for who I am. And it's like, I mean, technically we don't have to do that because it's like, I don't even accept myself sometimes, so it's like, why should I just immediately permanently accept you? When it's like, I have to really work on myself time to time. It's like, I would expect the same thing out of you, no matter what that be. I mean, if someone comes to me and says like, Joe, you're kind of messing up A, B, and C, and D. Like, how would we even move on? Like, even in marriage, it's like me and my wife have to check each other sometimes. I'm just like, dude, you gotta do, because I suck at cleaning. Like, I just suck at it. These days I've gotten way better at it, but it's like before that, it's like, dude, she has to come at me kind of harsh about it, and then we kind of get into a little bickering thing here and there, but then at the end of the day, it's like, man, it's just making me a better person. Yeah. And now it's like those conversations happen less because we had those harder conversations at the beginning.
Yeah. There also has to be an environment, right? Like, there has to be an environment.
Oh yeah, you can't just be
where like you have to be like, hey, it's okay for you to. I'm not going to take this the wrong way because I know you love me and I love you, right? Yeah. And
that's probably the biggest issue in those. Right. Like, the environment changes everything. If you just come up to someone at a little family get together or just a friend get together at a house and then you just press them, like, dude, I'd feel attacked. That reminds me, Father Hau, I got to let you know that you are.
Well, yeah, it goes back to also healthy boundaries, because with relationships, there is a sense of like privacy, right? That everybody has their privacy, but there's no such thing as secrecy. Right. Because secrecy and privacy is different. Privacy is that you have healthy boundary. Maybe you have like a men's cave once in a while. You have the private. Under your privacy, you're just unwinding for yourself. But secrecy is like you're hiding something away from that spouse or your lover or the church, and you're ashamed of it. That's why you're hiding it. That's you're keeping a secret.
Yes.
But if ever privacy comes into public, you're not ashamed about what you did.
Right. Because
so that's the difference between privacy and secrecy. You're not called to secrecy.
Yeah.
And the world reacts that way. Like, I mean, speak of the Diddy thing, it's like people who do that, like celebrities or just, politicians or yada, yada. But people who are in that spotlight, like when they don't just come out and admit they're wrong, when those things happen, like the longer you wait it out, the worse
the
that
worse it's
reaction's
gonna
going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's very like admirable. Like, even in our Catholic Church, it's like when things kind of go wrong in the Catholic Church, they kind of stand up and just say like, hey, we admit that this is, we're not perfect. And it's like things happen. And, evil is everywhere, and that's just what it is. I mean, that's just how life is.
Yeah.
So I think if you come out and admit it right then and there, it's like the blow is going to be less, I guess.
Yeah.
Not for the Catholic Church, though, because everyone just attacks it, but... Yeah.
Very good. And so for your
Yeah.
future here, Aiden, what kind of music are you making? Are you producing? Are you producing music that are inviting people to the church and things like that? Or?
That's a really great question for that. I think I've been open to it.
Okay.
I think I've really been open to it. I think one of my things about music, and I guess about conversation, about anything that I do, is always I want the ability to show people God, show people Christ, without actually having to say it most of the time, right? Like I think one of the greatest, when I was growing up was like Jason Mraz, man. Like that guy really never made a worship song technically, but you could see God so prevalent in his music, right? And I think, bringing the question back, the kind of music that I would really like to do is just bring back something that people haven't heard in a while. Like I love the old school Motown jazz sound. Like I really want to bring that back, and I would like to have an element to show God in my life, right? God in my music, Christ in what I'm doing. But once again, I think that's just it's can be done in a multitude of ways, not only in your lyrics, in your singing, but also just in like the people that you choose to play with, right? The people that you choose to surround yourself with, and when you make music. And it was really funny. I'll tell you a quick story. I met my friend. I don't know if you've met him, Father. His name's Andrew. Great drummer that I met. Really great jazz drummer. He and I met at a retreat because he got called in to play for a retreat for, I was doing a one out towards LA Diocese, like in Chino, and he comes out and he's like, do you like jazz music? And I was like, I love jazz music. And he was like, do you like worship? I was like, I love worship music. And then ever since then, like we've had like this connection of just playing secular music, jazz, pop, R&B, but also having such a good foundation of playing retreats together. Because that was just what we did from the first moment. You know what I mean? Like you have to really ground yourself with something that you do. So I'm not really like big into producing. Like I'm really not that talented on terms of production side, but I love live performance, studio stuff, working live, working with other people. And I love to do that. I can't even tell you how wonderful it is. So yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, may the Lord bless you in your endeavors,
Yeah.
and may you continue to sing and have these creative ways and creative avenues to bring people closer to Christ.
Yeah.
And you're more than welcome to always come here and create.
I appreciate
whether
it,
it be
Father.
music, whether it be videos, whether it be just laughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're always laughing.
Like we've been doing
Whether it
today.
be at ourselves or about one another.
Yeah.
It's,
It's usually the latter.
Yeah.
we keep each other humble.
Right.
Yeah. Have to.
In a
keep each other
borderline,
humble.
That's right.
mean way.
Yeah, it's like that's not sarcasm, bro.
Right. That hurt a little more to be sarcasm. Right.
Ow.
The wounds.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Very good. So thank you very much, Aiden.
Yeah, thank you, Father, for having
me. We do appreciate your time.
Yeah.
And you come on hopefully in the future anytime that you will like.
I'd love to.
Just keep it fresh and faithful, and we'll keep you in prayer.
Yeah, thank you, Father.
Yeah, so I say I can't, there's a lot of messages today.
I know there were
But I would just say, let's just leave it at, you are given talents. People are given talents, specific talents. And just to remember that they are given to you, not made by your own will, but by God's will. And to use them in that way, in any way that you can. And to just accept them with full love and full faith that you can use that talent to do what you got to do with it under what needs to be done in God's path. So with that, we say stay fresh.
And stay faithful. God bless. He said math. I said math. He said math. I was like, oh, that's a good one.